Yeah. Hair flip, yeah, I'm a badass bitch. I don't like it. Hair flip, yeah. Oh my god. So you guys should be happy. Oh my goodness. Hair flip. But anyways, hair flip. Hair flipping on these hoes. Hi. Hey everyone, welcome. This is a video on Charlemagne, but before we get into surviving Charlemagne, let's get into Kwame Brown. A lot of people don't necessarily know who Kwame is and why his name is being brought up. So let me just give you a little back history on Kwame before we go forward. So Kwame's name is Kwame Hassani Brown. He was born March 10th, 1982. He is an American former basketball player who spent 12 seasons in the National Basketball Association, otherwise known as the NBA. Selected by the Washington Wizards in 2001, NBA draft, Brown was the first draft pick to be chosen straight out of high school. He also played for the Los Angeles Lakers, Memphis Grizzlies, Detroit Pistons, Charlotte Bobcats, Golden State Warriors, and Philadelphia 76ers. His performance was first and overall draft pick has led many analysts to label him as one of the biggest busts in NBA history. So basically what is being stated is that in high school, he played really well, and so well to where he was a first draft pick straight out of high school. And that's not necessarily something that is normal. Most people go to college first, even if they, are picked, within like the first month or two or first year, with them being in college. But yeah, he got drafted right out of high school, like a LeBron, basically. So with that, he got a lot of pressure to be a really good player. And with him being picked so quickly as a #1 draft, he did not show improve, if you will. He didn't do what everybody thought he would do. So they feel like they wasted and invested a lot of money into a player that never really shined, that never really took any team to another level or to a championship or got a ring necessarily. So he's looked at as a bust. He's looked at as, he kind of sucks, if you will. But I think that, with him just being in high school, he was competing and he was doing a really good job and there wasn't a lot of pressure. And then when he got, drafted, #1 draft pick right out of high school, that's a lot of pressure to be, the greatest, excellent, like a Michael Jordan or LeBron James, if you will, or Kobe Bryant, so it was a lot of pressure. And I think that he kind of just fell underneath, set pressure. So he couldn't perform how he did in high school because there wasn't the same pressure. I believe he was having fun in high school while being a great athlete, and then got drafted and just felt this immense pressure to be the greatest that ever did it. So Kwame was basically got into a small altercation with Matt Barnes, which led into the whole situation with Charlemagne saying anything about him in the first place. So let's get into the clip of, because Kwame Brown and Matt Barnes had a little, incident. Matt was kind of talking a little bit of trash about Kwame, and Kwame, which he has the right to come forward and defend himself, and that's what he did. And in the midst of that, Charlemagne tried, with parentheses, to defend Kwame, but it went really badly. Let's get into this next clip.
Leave Kwame Brown alone. I don't know if y'all know, but you could do a little research. Kwame Brown was born in Charleston, South Carolina. I don't think I've ever met Kwame, but I know a lot of his family. His family lived in Mounts Corner, South Carolina. His father's name was Willie Brown. I don't know how many kids Willie Brown had. I don't know how many siblings Kwame Brown got, but I went to school with his sister, and I went to school with one of his his brothers. Let me tell y'all something. Kwame's father in the 90s, I remember this story. He beat a woman with an axe handle. It was his girlfriend. And the rumor was he buried her alive. He buried her in the area that I grew up in, if I remember correctly. I've been trying to call my dad since yesterday to confirm the whole story, because I literally forgot about this until yesterday. But the woman died and he got arrested. If he's still alive, he's in prison for life, because he got caught because he left South Carolina after the murder and came back for his paycheck. Let me tell you something else. His other brother, I don't know if him and Kwame were close, but his other brother shot his baby mama several times and then killed himself. That was like in '08. And his other brother, Kwame's other brother, just went to jail for murder like 3 years ago. All of this you can Google. I'm saying all that to say, leave Kwame alone. That man has been quiet for 20 years. He don't bother nobody. Clearly all that, all that he's a bust stuff gets to him, and you don't know what people are going through or have been through, but I've seen folks snap for less, and it looks like, Kwame is snapping. And if you look at the history of men in his family, you would know his men in his family have a history of snapping.
Charlemagne said a lot of things that he should not have said. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I understand, like, when we grow up in, places, we have, rumors that happen, old abandoned homes and the stories behind them, and stuff like that. But to say that about somebody's father murdering someone and things of that nature is just deplorable. And Charlemagne knew that he was wrong for what he did and what he said. He knew he was wrong instantly, but, him just being him, that shock jockey, the shock factor, he's decided to say what he wanted to say about Kwame's entire family, basically, from brothers to his sister, his father. He brings up everyone and leaving out a lot of details, like that Kwame didn't necessarily know his father, and things of that nature. So Kwame felt, if you're going to talk about me, I have the right to come forward and defend myself. And that's exactly what Kwame did. So let's get into this next clip of Kwame's response to Charlemagne stating this on The Breakfast Club.
Yeah. That mean media machine is out after a nigga, boy. Yeah. Up next. Yes. Now the Breakfast Club done joined in. Now I think y'all gonna have to be the next victim. So Charlemagne the guy, you want to talk as if you know me, because, like I say, you part of that Buffole too. You like Steven Jackson and Becky with the good hair. Y'all probably be at them same parties. So, Steven Jackson, rapist, Charlamagne the God, rape case guy that actually pled guilty and got away with it. We're gonna name you got away with it. So because I called two gentlemen that you can clearly hear on your podcast that they tapped somebody and said only one person was part of the trade. You mean to tell me you gonna purport the story the way that you see fit? You want to talk about a brother that I never met, that my father had children outside of his marriage, just like DJ Envy cheating ass? So I'm wrong because my father had a son at the time that I never met. So you gonna put out to the world that like I'm some killer. When I asked these gentlemen and they said they was joking. So now it's time to light your little rapist ass up too. We're gonna find that girl you raped, punk, allegedly. Matter of fact, we ain't gotta say alleged because you on the docket, bitch. So we gonna talk about you. Since you punk ass beta males that's on the Breakfast Club, DJ Envy, no neck having punk weasel ass, you just like the rest of them niggas lying all the goddamn time. And Charlamagne, you shut your punk ass up, nigga. Cause since when words became violent, you niggas taking too many marching orders from women. You dumb son of a bitch. In the definition of the word violence, it start with physical altercation, physical contact, not words, bitch. So I don't subscribe to that. So I'll see you in a minute to get violent on YouTube, you punk motherfucker. Y'all talking about somebody violent because they talking. They ain't violent when they saying they gonna come to LA, Atlanta. They not violent. I'm the violent one. That's the message y'all want to put out. My daddy go to jail, so it's my fault. Bitch ass nigga, I told you. See how y'all want to tell the story? See people? See how they want to tell the story? A rose that grew through the cement. I don't got nothing to do with what my daddy did, bitch. I got my own hands, my own arms, and my own brain. And you got your own body and your own penis that allegedly you used to rape a girl, you punk bitch. And you so protected, you bald head, weasel face, bleach face motherfucker, that nobody is allowing, nobody taking you off air for raping a girl. But you get up on air, on camera talking about protect all women. And now a man finally calling your bitch ass out. Now I'm violent from my truck. I'm a violent guy from my truck talking on the phone. Fuck out of here. See you on YouTube, bitch.
The young lady Kwame is referring to of Charlemagne as calling him a rapist that said that he raped. Her name is Jessica Reid. And without further ado, we are going to get into Jessica Reid's story. Charlemagne the God was charged with the rape of Jessica. But the problem came when Jessica's mother felt that Jessica was not ready to testify against Charlemagne. So since she was non-compliant and did not fully fall through with the plans of getting him these charges and making the charges stick, he basically got away with the dismissal because Jessica did not show up. She was not present, during the time of court. So without any witnesses or anything there, they just decided to dismiss the case. And Jessica did not get justice. But her mother is the reason. If she would have just let Jessica follow through with it, even if Jessica would have broke down in court, it would have been better of her breaking down in court, getting her story out there, and Charlemagne being charged with raping her, versus to not feeling ready to the statute of limitation is up when you do decide that you are ready to come forward. At this point in time, it's too late. This is why Jessica is asking for closure, instead of necessarily like justice, because she knows that it's not necessarily something that is going to come into fruition unless another person came forward, basically. Other than that, because of Jessica's mother, she did not fully fall through with the plan to get justice that she so deserved. I'm sorry, Miss Sullivan, but you clearly dropped the ball with that situation. Your daughter was 15. The friend that she had with her, your son's girlfriend, was also underage. So with both of these women, young ladies, at the time, with an older man coming to your home to introduce himself, that is more so of an older quality, something that an older guy would have, somebody over the age of 18, definitely, to come into your house and convince you that your daughter is going to be okay going with where he's going. It's more so of permission. He needs permission from you because he's an adult. So you are clearly overlooking it. I don't know if he was charming you at that point in time, but it definitely would have been a red flag for me as a parent, and any parent, when somebody's coming to introduce themselves and they're requesting your permission to be out with them. That one of your first questions should be, how old are you? Why would that not be a question? So to just assume, that this man was younger or in high school with your daughters just because of perception, it's no different than why those men, when your daughter was at the party with him, felt that they could do what they wanted to do to her because they felt that she was older. Just because looks can be deceiving. Just because she is 15 doesn't mean that she looked 15 at the time. So it's the same thing, with you looking at Charlemagne like, oh, well, he's clearly, the age of my daughter, and then because why else would he be here? Because that's what predators do. Predators roam, and they like to nurture, and get their people to the point, their, potential, victims, to the point to where they have them right where they want them. And with you trusting him, he knew for in the future that he could get her, that if I nurture this situation now, and get it to the point to where, I'm grooming her and groom her enough and her mother enough to where I want to take her somewhere by myself or take her overnight, her mom's going to think nothing of it, because I've groomed her. I've groomed her mom to think that I have her best interest, and I've groomed the daughter to think that I have her best interest as well, when that was sadly not the case. But let's keep going.